Curry's 2021 season was explosive. I'm talking nuclear bomb kind of explosive. The kind that gets MVP chants from fans during road games.
And you're hearing MVP chants from the Golden State fans in attendance here in Philadelphia. You don't hear MVP chants on the road very often.
Although the Warriors didn't win the championship this year, Steph Curry cemented his legacy as one of the all-time greats as he brought a 15-win Team Warriors from the year before to the 8th seed in the Western Conference before the newly instated play-ins happened. How did this all-time great season for Steph begin, though? In order to understand the magnitude of all of this, we have to rewind back to the beginning of the 2019-2020 season. In November of 2019, Curry suffered a hand fracture from a fall in a match against the Phoenix Suns.
A lot of contact. He's holding that left wrist.
Phoenix forward Aaron Baines landed on Steph Curry's hand and fractured it. Steve Kerr stated that Baines was remorseful for the incident. "Thanks, Baines, but we really needed our $1 million shooting hand." Kevin Durant, Curry's former teammate, commented afterward on ESPN's First Take that it was going to be tough for Golden State to play without him, and he was right. It was really tough, especially with Klay, the beast of the Bay, sidelined with a torn ACL for the whole season himself. It was so bad for the Warriors in 2020 that perhaps even a G League team could have beat them in a best-of-7 series. After 4 months, Steph later returned to play, but his house was already in shambles. The Warriors at the time had only won 14 games and lost 48 and were sitting dead last in both conferences. Due to catching the flu and a worldwide pandemic, Curry played only one more game that season where he scored 23 points in a loss against the Raptors. After that, the season was a wrap, and Steph Curry hung up his sneakers for the season, and Chef Curry took out his cooking utensils.
How's it going?
Well,
needless to say, the Warriors ended the 2019-2020 season without going to the bubble and without going to the finals for the first time in God knows how long, and finished the year with an abysmal 15-50 record. And so, Steph Curry's brilliant 2021 journey had begun like this, with this ugly backdrop of a season. So coming into the 2020-21 season, Steph Curry, during an Instagram live session with Let's Go Warriors, declared passionately his urge to get back onto the famous court, stating, "I want to play basketball. It's what I love to do. The fans obviously want to see basketball too. There's a lot of variables at play when it's actually going to start, but of course I want to play basketball, and I want the season to start." Steph obviously couldn't wait to shoot some hoops and start winning some games, especially with his Splash Bro partnering with him in the backcourt. His confidence and joy must have been like Frodo's after Samwise Gamgee returned from his unfair banishment caused by Smeagol's tricks. However, unlike Samwise, Klay didn't return and was unfortunately met with another out-of-season injury, leaving Curry with the task to chase that playoff ring all alone. Word has it, Steph broke into tears after hearing the news about Klay. Speaking with Anthony Slater of The Athletic, Curry's father Dell, who was with his sharpshooting sons in Mexico, remarked on Curry's reaction after learning about Klay's Achilles tear in a call from Bob Myers. "We could tell something was not right. He stopped golfing for a while and he told us to play through. Steph took it hard, but we all took it hard. We're all Warriors fans. We all felt his pain that day." I know my pain was intense too. That news honestly broke me for days. Steph couldn't catch a break. Klay couldn't get a break. The Warriors couldn't take a break. Dub Nation just could not get a freaking break. And honestly, I couldn't get a break either, even though no one really cares about my breaks. The Warriors had waited patiently all year, building up their team and confidence, especially after losing Kevin Durant to the Brooklyn Nets, only to watch Klay's injury puncture their efforts and aspirations again. But they weren't going to lose hope just yet. They still had the greatest shooter of all time in good health and spirits. Even though many doubted he could do it alone, some non-believers said the glory days were gone for the Dubs and the Golden State dynasty was over, done, finito. But for our chef, this was apparently a challenge. And how did he take that? Personally. The first two games of the 2021 season were against two of the top Eastern teams, the Brooklyn Nets and the Milwaukee Bucks. They were both embarrassing losses as the Warriors were routed with a combined 65-point deficit, which is the second worst point differential through the first two games of a season in NBA history. The media was laughing and fingers were pointing at Curry. In their third game, which was against the Bulls, Curry went off for 36, but still found his team down by 2 with 5 seconds left on the clock, but thankfully, Curry's sister married a good man. Damian Lee sunk the game winner, and a great bolt of energy surged into Steph and the Warriors. The momentum carried over to the next game where they won in Detroit. Still though, Dub Nation was anxious about losing to big teams in 2 consecutive blowout games and winning only narrowly against 2 not-so-good teams. And this early trend was tested when Curry and the Warriors faced the Blazers in their 5th game. Before the game started, Damian Lillard doubted Steph Curry and how great he'd be without his all-star lineup. Specifically, Dame Time said, "It's different than what it's looked like over the last 4 or 5 years for him. He's trying to get quality looks and get a clean look so he can make a good one. You don't really have the luxury to take one from that deep just to be taking it like in the past he might have." Well, the Dubs fell mercilessly to the Trailblazers, sustaining a 3-point barrage from the Blazers in a 123-98 loss. Steph finished with 26 points, shooting 4 of 12 from the 3-point line and only 9 for 20 from the field goal. Steph Curry took everything personally. The Warriors might have trailed against the Trailblazers on Friday in a blowout game, but come Sunday, January 4th, 2 days later, an opportunity to right their wrong against the same team presented itself, and like the champ Curry was, he took it in record-breaking style. He had a career-high 62 points, finishing in 36 minutes of gameplay, an impressive 18 for 31 from the field, 8 for 16 from beyond the arc, and was 18 of 19 from the free throw line. Damn, what a way to explode in the faces of doubters. Klay was on the sideline, proud and in awe, but he wasn't the only one feeling that way. Fellow team star and one-time Defensive Player of the Year Draymond Green had this to say: "Just because of all that talk that's been going around, to come out, I could see it from the very first possession. I told Kayvon Looney early in the game, you keep screening and get in his way, he's not passing. Something's going on. He's shooting the ball. It was great to see, though. He came out looking like a man on a mission, and that was right up there with one of his best performances that I've witnessed."
To the front court, Draymond finds him another 3. Got it! 62! 62!
Damian Lillard, who had reportedly called out Curry prior to the game, later tweeted, "You can't dish it out and not be able to take it. #respect." Number 2 pick, rookie James Wiseman, who had doubled in the game, commented, "It's crazy. It reminded me of 2K because I used to play with Steph all the time and I used to drop like 60. So just like actually watching it personally, that was phenomenal. He's a legend. So just watching it in person, it was great." After the game, Steph didn't necessarily repeat his 62-point performance, but he did lead his Warriors to 2 huge come-from-behind wins against the Clippers and the Lakers. He wasn't done with the month of January just yet, though. On the 23rd of January, he passed Reggie Miller for second all-time three-point leader after scoring 5 threes against the Utah Jazz. Come February, Stephen Curry averaged 32.1 points, 6.8 assists, and 5.4 rebounds in 14 games. However, in March, the star shooter and babyface assassin slowed down a little, maybe just to catch his breath. He averaged 26.3 points, 5.5 assists, and 4.8 rebounds in 6 games and ended the month with a painful injury that kept him out for days. The tailbone contusion, which he sustained in a win against the Houston Rockets after he crashed down on metal stairs near the court where fans normally would have been, appeared to be a huge blow for the Warriors, but instead turned out to be an incubator for something unexpectedly mind-blowing from the chef in the following month. Look, folks, the month of April was a magical one for the chef. He seemed to be on a mission. And every time he stepped onto a court, he did it with a sledgehammer, ready to shatter yet another impossible record. In April, Curry became the third player in the last 30 years to score at least 30 points in 13 games, and the first to average at least 35 points for a whole month. In fact, he averaged an impressive 37 points per game that month while posting a record-breaking 96 triples, something never done or seen before. On April 12th against the Nuggets, Curry scored 53 points and surpassed Wilt Chamberlain's franchise all-time scoring record with 19 points in the first quarter. An absolute mouthful, is that not? At 33 years and a season played over 5 months, Curry led the NBA in scoring with 32 points per game, becoming one of the oldest to win the scoring title since the great Michael Jordan. In the same vein, he became the fourth player in NBA history with multiple MVPs, championship, and scoring titles while breaking his own three-point record, averaging 5.3 threes per game in the regular season. But that is not all, guys. Before the season ended, Curry drained 155 threes, which was the most by any player in the final 24 games of a season. Curry also finished the season with 337 three-pointers in 63 games, the fourth most in a season and the fourth time Curry has topped 300. Just brilliant. But even after a stunning season-end performance that saw his team clinch the 8th seed in the conference, Curry still couldn't buy his team an automatic ticket to the playoff, which would have been the case a short while ago. This was because of the play-in tournament that saw the Warriors lose bitterly to the Lakers and Grizzlies after fantastic performances from the chef. Nevertheless, Curry was named as one of the 3 players in the MVP list, with Jokic and Joel Embiid deservingly up there with him. And even though the Joker took home the title eventually, many people would still call this season Curry's season. After Ja Morant's Twitter endorsement of the chef as the season's MVP, the King, LeBron, also chimed in and said to the reporters before the play-in tournament with the Warriors, "We're playing in mind the MVP of the year in Steph." And listen, guys, Curry knows too how magnificent he was this year. After the season, this was what he had to say of all his brilliance. "I don't think I've put together a run like that with that much attention in my career. It's a really rewarding experience. It all comes back to the work that you put in during the off season. The great ones figure out a way to adapt and understand what the challenge is and not complain about it, not make excuses, but just go out and hoop. That's what I really locked in on." Now, according to the general manager of the Warriors, Bob Myers, the team is ready and confident to keep Curry in the Bay Area till he's 38 years old with a 4-year Supermax contract of $215.4 million, which means the magic in the Bay is not yet going away. Well, there you have it, Steph Curry's 2021 season in a nutshell. In saying that, however, have you seen what made Steph Curry great in the first place, before he ever stepped onto an NBA court? If not, check out this video here, where I go over key moments in the 2-time MVP's life that made him the superstar he is today. Click it, guys, watch it, and I'll see you on the other side.